Hello, just played louds. Taavi's here. We're gonna talk about 1968 songs here, and I'm with my co-host Andrew. And so, Andrew, what do you have any thoughts about the year?
I mean, this is another year with like more greatness for me. Pretty similar to 67 in this regard. Whereas we've kind of been ramping up. I feel like this is the first time it's like maybe about on par for me, um,
Mm.
or so. Uh, there's a bit of a shift with some artists that go a bit more back to basics, from some of like the major players. But I think overall that these 2 years go hand in hand, and there's still quite a
Mm.
bit of overlap in sound. Maybe some more
Yeah,
variety as these new great artists just keep coming along. A little more opportunity to go with less conventional picks as the album era continues forward. And you'll probably find the wealth of material continues to run deeper, but song for song, it's about the same for peak for my taste. What about you?
yeah, yeah. Pretty similar. Kind of similar to 67 in quality and what kind of music is around. Some new, well, not new artists, but some artists that I haven't really talked about yet in this series, but well-known artists for sure. But like, so happy to get these guys along. Yeah, uh, I'm gonna let you do your singles picks.
Yeah, so my number five for singles is Crimson and Clover, Tommy James and the Shondells. Another really great psychedelic pop song,
Mm.
which is usually a winner for me in this time period. It's kind of like two songs, like this relaxing, romantic main riff, and then later on the repeating trippy loop that closes the song. Not sure if it qualifies as bubblegum exactly, but if it did, it would definitely be my favorite bubblegum song. Number four, I have Scarborough Fair Canonical by Simon and Garfunkel. This one actually was on a record 2 years before, became a hit this year when The Graduate came out. So it just makes our kind of cut off.
Yeah.
um, it was an album opener first. Main melody comes from like a traditional folk song, but they throw in a second melody from Paul Simon that weaves in and out, and you get like haunting harmonies. I think it's just really special. Number three, I have Porpoise Song by the Monkees. Monkees had a bunch of fun hits, but I think this is the best thing they ever did. It's just great songwriting, a dreamy, like hypnotic organ sound. I think you could really benefit. Like I think in general, music could benefit from organ being used more often, and this is a good example. My number two is a charting B-side, or I guess it was kind of a double A side. Revolution, the Beatles. Always love this one. Excellent crunch to the guitar. The hard rock arrangement for me is what really makes it. So it's a big contrast to like the album version on the White Album. But yeah, just really, really great rock sound in this one. Probably their best for the Beatles for that for me. And then my number one single, another song from Love. It's Alone Again or. I've spoken about Forever Changes already. This was the lead single that didn't arrive until early 68. And on this track, there's like Baroque, folk, and mariachi for good measure. And I think it works really well in like not being quite like anything else going on, but still a bit subtle in how unique it is. So yeah, that's my number one singles pick.
Awesome, awesome. Uh, yeah, we don't have anything in common yet, at least looking at my singles here, but I'm sure you're gonna like some of these a lot. Specifically number five, uh, Mrs. Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah, that chorus is just amazing to me. That God Bless You, Please, Mrs. Robinson, so on. Um, love love the vocals in the song and the guitar arrangement. And just a really like fun song by them. Always love the song. Number four is by uh, artist that I haven't really talked about yet. That probably gonna make some other years too coming up. Elvis Presley with If I Can Dream, which is just a really powerful song. Love the lyrics and simple lyrics, but that's just better to me, honestly. And his vocals are just killer in the song, all about his delivery. And yeah, this whole TV special kind of resurrected his career from his kind of like 60s slump of endless movies and so on. But yeah, it's just a powerful song released really soon after the uh, MLK assassination. But yeah, If I Can Dream, amazing song. Number three is Back to the Doors with Hello, I Love You. Uh, Psych, pop rock goodness. Um, I love I it's a pretty small moment in this song, but I always love the like the stereo panning from left to right channel. It's kind of has in the middle of the song. It's just very cool little touch to this song, and I always love the keyboard riff that this has. That's a cool vibe and just really catchy song, I gotta say. Just something that really sticks to your head. Number two is by the Jimi Hendrix Experience, All Along the Watchtower, which is a guitar showcase basically, and just love the soloing. And I also like the Bob Dylan version, of course, the original, but I just find this to be the my favorite version of the song. And yeah, a lot of um, I don't know, will I have a lot of these kind of like I don't know. It's tough to say already how much do I have this like really guitar heavy songs in my like a lot of soloing, but I don't know. Maybe I do love guitar solos, don't get me wrong, but this is we'll see. Because like we aren't talking that many songs in 1 year, so I'm just thinking how many will I have, but I guess we have to wait and see. And my number one single of the year is another The Doors single. It's Touch Me, which I was like, oh, I could because maybe just thinking about the album release, but I was kind of, oh, it's a 68 single, but of course a 69 album. I almost forgot to include this one. But this is just one of my favorite Doors songs. And it's so catchy, and I think Jim Morrison is so cool in his delivery, and yeah, it's just amazing pop rock song by them. Yeah, that's my singles pick.
Yeah, those are a couple of my favorite songs by the Doors, probably. And you named another one of my final cuts because I almost had all on the Watchtower as well.
Mm, yeah, for sure.
But moving on to deep cuts, start
Yep.
with number five. I've got While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles. Another one that's funny to consider a deep cut, but it wasn't a
Yeah.
single. So I
Yeah.
heard this a ton growing up, and it's one I don't tend to put on too often these days. But at the end of the day, it's just really awesome rock song and shows up as an album cut, even though most other artists would probably have killed to have like that for a single. Um, moves at a pretty like moderate pace, deliberate, has that descending chord progression that I think probably makes the song. And well, George Harrison did some cool songs before this, some of which you talked about. This is probably where I'd pinpoint probably his emergence for kind of what the direction he would be going as a solo artist and what else he had up his sleeve the next few years. My number four, I'm bringing them back, Beach Boys with Little Bird. Haven't spoken about them since '66, but again, won't be the last time I speak about them. Really nice deep cut, one of the first Dennis Wilson songs, and it's kind of spliced with this little fragment from Smile. The brothers are front and center vocally here, and I think that's to its advantage. Got so many hooks in the song and a really short runtime. My number three is Chest Fever by the band. I told you I liked organ and music, and here's another great one with that from music in Big Pink, an album that has like the rootsy band style, but with just a little dash of psychedelia sneaking in that works really well and shines through here with kind of like the trippy organ soloing in there. A little bit Doorsy, actually. Uh, Number two, I have There Is Nothing More to Say by the Millennium from the album Begin. Album that went nowhere at the time, has kind of gotten appreciation since, and I think it's a really great song. There's a melancholic yearning in the melody that really hits the spot, and I love like the rich pop sound that goes along with it, nicely produced. Not one you can expect to ever hear in the wild, but recommend if you like kind of like that Baroque psychedelic pop sound of the era. And my number one is another one that would be a number one in most years, but just didn't quite get there this time because of what else is here. But I have America by Simon and Garfunkel. It's another one of those cases that was technically a single, but it wasn't for years later until like the '70s, '72, I believe, almost 5 years later. But originally an album cut from Bookends, poetic, soaring, folk pop. In a lot of years, would be like a slam dunk winner. But yeah, it's a incredible song.
Aiden is gonna love your Millennium pick. Uh,
Oh yeah,
he really loves that album and them in general. And I, if I got, I'm pretty sure we have like now in this deep cuts we have two in common.
oh
So
nice.
it's nice to see. Um, but my deep cuts list number five. I don't know how well known song this is, but it's another Elvis tune. Um, it's actually a B-side to If I Can Dream. So the song is Edge of Reality. It has a bit of like a uh, slight, let's say, slight psychedelic feel. Um, I just find it really cool and just also a really catchy song. And I kind of like how I love that kind of a rhythm of the vocal and how it keeps just delivering. It kind of goes big in some ways, and yeah, cool tune. Number four, I have Tears of Rage by the band. Um, Maybe I'm not the biggest the band fan, but this is a great song with great vocals by Richard Manuel, and it's just really emotional, but it also has this nice vibe. Uh, Maybe I always kind of feel like the band has this weird outdoorsy vibe to them. I don't know. Like you're listening in a forest campfire, these songs. Um, but yeah, this is a killer vocal. Not a Jimi Hendrix song is next with Voodoo Child, Slight Return. Yeah, pretty much I'm choosing this because of the Jimi Hendrix guitar showcase. But I can't really fault the other guys in the band too. Um, especially Mitch Mitchell, the drums, and there's just killer musicians all around. And now the songs that we had in common, I have America by Simon and Garfunkel. Um, just a beautiful tune. Um, just really nice melodies in the song, and I also love how they sing the title, well, America in this song, and it's just kind of, it doesn't go like to me. Uh, it's find the nice balance that it doesn't go too big and not too small in some ways, like it's the perfect way how this is constructed, and yeah, that's a great song. Um, Pretty sure Yes did a cover of this song. I'm pretty sure. But my number one is While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles. This has been like Jimi Hendrix. This has great solos by Clapton. I think honestly one of his best guitar moments might be in this song, and just totally killer. And love the whole band arrangements and uh how it's sung, and just nothing bad about the song really. Cool Beatles song from the White Album. So that's my top five. Because
Oh, very nice. So I guess that brings us to the top Billboard pick. And I would say
yep.
this was a little bit less, like banger after banger compared to 67,
Mm,
but
yep.
still some excellent songs in the mix. And
Mm,
most of them are at least really good. I strongly considered I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye, Mrs. Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel. But at the end of the day, I'm going with the biggest song of the year, Hey Jude by the Beatles. Beautiful piano-based Paul McCartney tune, timeless melody. Also kind of pushing the boundaries of radio with like that extended outro. It was like, I believe it was the longest number one single for quite a while. And Beatles add a lot of their performing touches to turn a great song into a defining one. Just like little instrumental flourishes to keep it interesting for that longer runtime. So yeah, it was there were like whereas 67 was just like one great song after another. This was like, oh, you have one great song here, another pretty good song here, maybe one that's not quite up to it. So it was a little bit less consistent than what we had before, but still really good.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, but maybe I'll talk about a little bit about the variety and quality in the next. We do least favorite, but yeah, but some of these are really great songs here too. But I went with what I already had in my list. Um, Hello, I Love You by the Doors. Yeah, again, just chose it because of the catchy nature, very memorable. Love the keyboards and this stereo effect, and it actually kind of rocks. So that's why I went with the Doors.
Nice, yeah. I actually forgot that that one was there too because I was like, oh yeah, it'd be Mrs. Robinson because you had Mrs. Robinson, but you had a couple on there.
Yeah, yeah, true.
All right, so
Yeah,
worth. So I still don't
mm.
think there's anything as bad here as the Barry Sadler song or the Herman's Hermits.
Yeah,
Um,
sure, for sure.
um, I'm going with Honey by Bobby Goldsboro. It's
Hmm.
a sentimental, kind of like easy listening tune, a little bit morbid when you read up on what it's about. Reminds me of those like teenage tragedy songs from the early 60s, but a little bit sappier. Um,
Hmm.
and it's also quite long for a song of that style. It's like it probably didn't need to be 4 minutes long at that kind of tempo. Um, so there are a couple other instrumentals this year that I think are pretty nice for what they are, but that were probably the next ones in consideration as well. But yeah, that was my pick, Honey.
Yeah. I also consider it. Yeah, it was pretty odd. There was like two instrumentals, I think. I kind of like the Grazing in the Grass one, probably more. It was the more jazzier one. Um, then there's also the Love is Blue. But there was there's in some ways like, sure, the quality isn't 67 level, but there's also kind of nice variety of styles too. Like, there's like a jazz instrumental, then Tighten Up is like a more funkier tune, and I don't even remember all of those. That, well, of course, there's like more country than even in 67 and a lot of different stuff, but uh, like 67, I went with a country song. I'm going as well. This was 1 week at number one before the Hey Jude Juggernaut happened, and so Harper Valley PTA is my least favorite by Jeannie C. Riley. Um, so another country tune. Again, not too bad in some ways, but I just personally don't can. I'm not into that vocal tone of her. It's a bit too like stereotypical country voice, but like I don't know, it's weird to say, but it feels too American in some ways. But uh, it's just this country song that has a story going on and like multiple characters and all, but just not my style basically, and not something I. So I would rather listen to those instrumentals even. It's just not that special, but kind of just pretty pretty good still. So maybe I'm going with this Harper Valley PTA song.
Yeah, at some point we're going to be wishing we had any of these songs on the list. So taking a
That's
quick
true.
look at some of the newer lists.
Yeah, yeah. For sure.
um, so that leaves us with Song of the Year,
Yep,
and it's an artist I spoke about a couple times in 67. It's Zombies, Hung Up on a Dream. It's one of
yep.
those tracks that gives me
Nice.
goosebumps. The chord changes, the dreamy production, Colin Blunstone's smooth voice, and then this like choir-like support later on as the song goes on. Weaves around a few different melodies and ideas, kind of taking you on a trip. Fitting title, almost seems like one of those like songs you might hear in a dream and then can't quite capture it after you wake up. But whatever they did to write this one, they managed to capture that feeling. So yeah, that's one of my favorite albums is Odyssey and Oracle, and this is a cut from that, and another one of my favorite songs ever.
Very cool. I know you're a big Jumpy fan, so makes a lot of sense. And well, it's a great song, of course. Um, for me, this next song, I've never done like a really okay, I've maybe done sometimes, but I've not like done a definitive like my top songs, like top 10 or something like that. But I always feel like this song would have to fit to that top 10 spot at least. And it's by the Rolling Stones from the Becker's Banquet album, Sympathy for the Devil. And yeah, this is a 6 minute song that's kind of like a almost chaotic song. Uh, always loved the whole vibe of it and the chaos in some ways, uh, all the different percussions, and I've always found like there's like maracas and different uh cowbell and a lot of different kind of. And I also love Keith Richards, the solo that he does in this song. It's just so memorable and just kind of pierces your ears. Like I love, I love Mick Jagger, and he just completely has his whole charisma used in this song. I just love the line like, "Who killed the Kennedys? And after all, it was you and me." And just so cool in the song. And I completely love the song and love listening to this song. And yeah, it's just amazing song for me. Sympathy for the Devil is my song of the year.
Yeah, I would have put some good money that that was going to be your pick. So there we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned how much I love this song, but yeah, I feel like I like all of these years we've done so far. Like, I don't think I always have like known what my song of the year is going to be. It still hasn't really changed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of those ones like you've lived with for long enough, it's like it's going to be difficult to break through. But
Mm,
maybe in some of the later years where you're not exactly sure where everything fits together, something will pop out
yeah,
as a surprise. Yeah.
yeah, that is true. Like I have no idea what's going to be my, let's say, 1999 song of the year. I
Right.
have no clue. But but it will be
Next up,
interesting.
we gotta close out the 60s,
Oh yeah, final year, 69.
70s. Yeah.
Yeah, then we get to the 70s, and yeah, it will be interesting. Especially I feel like the what we've talked a little bit in Discord, like the um Hot 100 things are going to be good.
Yeah, it goes in some different directions for the pop charts in the 70s. Not necessarily in line with like the radio songs you hear today.
Mm, yeah, that is true. Yeah, that will be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was our 68 picks. Another great selections of songs, I feel like. And we want to hear your great selections in the comments down below. And see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.